No sound detected. Let's check on the sound. I got some sound. Just waiting to see who's going to join. Just waiting to see who's going to join. Today, I'm going to be talking about some of the positions that I am currently hiring for. So, if you have anyone that you know of that is in an IT capacity, particularly in systems administration, tell them to join this live, please. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Today, we're going to be talking about positions that I am hiring for. My name is Shawn Thompson. I am the owner of Care Dynamics, which is a staffing and recruitment firm. We are nationwide. Might as well say global because we'll be doing some roles occasionally in Canada, and oftentimes we have roles that are in the UK. So if you're joining now and you have an IT background, I have it on the screen. This is my first time doing a live of this capacity. So I call myself putting the role or a piece of it on the screen. So let me know if you can see that. So I'm going to take a few minutes and let everybody join before I start talking about the role. Hopefully I'm able to play this back. Hey, Jody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, y'all, I listen. I don't do lives. I was told by my business coach that I have a glowing personality and that I'm pretty, so that I'm not being shallow, y'all. But she basically told me that I need to be out front more, particularly in my business. I am the recruitment manager. I'm back office, front office. I have employees, but for the most part, I try to play myself to the back and do the operations throughout the day. So I am not typically out front in my business. If you were to apply for the job that I have on the screen, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't be speaking to me. You would be speaking to either one of my offshore recruiters or you would be speaking to AI because I do use AI agents in my business. So I think I have enough people coming in and out and joining. So I want to talk about the systems administrator role that I have open. This is actually a gov tech position. This is not a privatized situation. It's also a contract role. So this is something where if you're working contract for 6 to 9 months, there is an opportunity for full-time conversion. But starting out, this is a contract role. You would go on payroll either with my firm or with my partner's firm, and we would be paying you on a weekly basis. Okay. So even though you would be working in a government position, we would be placing you there. So a lot of my IT people, you know, and understand what happens in a lot of the contract positions. This is a hybrid, flexible position. This is not something where you're expected to be on site 5, 6 days a week. I did have a position where it was similar to this one, but it was in another department, and I lost a lot of people because that role was actually in office. So I was able to communicate with the hiring managers and we were able to work out something that is hybrid. So for this role, you would be required to come on site for the first 3 days, of course, of training and to get acclimated to the team. After that, you would be working remotely for the most part, and then you would have to come on scene on occasion. I don't know what these little coins are, but if you're sending me something, thank you, thank you. I have to get in here and inside of the TikTok studio and figure out how to work the TikTok studio because I'm not a live going person again, but I will be doing this more often. I'm going to be sharing more videos about what it is I do. A lot of my followers actually came to me from a video that I did about medical couriership and independent courier. There was a video way down in my feed where I showed a van and showed all these different things that you can do with that van. So if that's what you guys want me to talk about, I can do that as well, because I do have a courier business. It's not a business that I actively work in, but it's a business that I run, and I more so do the dispatching for my drivers. So if you're here, good morning, Frito 1980. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. Thank you. So if you're here because you found me because of that video, let me know and I will gladly share some of the apps that I use to run that business. I'm more so passive in that business. On the day-to-day, I am a recruiter and I run a staffing business. I am also a pharmacist by trade. So majority of my staffing revolves around pharmacist staffing. But anyway, back to the senior systems administrator role, because I don't have a whole lot of time this morning. So again, this is senior systems administrator. They do want someone who has at least 5 years experience. 10 years is ideal. I know that is a lot, but I'm willing to work with someone who has at least 5 years of experience. Now, I don't like to so much focus on what the client wants and what I want to see in a candidate. I like to talk about what's in it for you. What is in it for the person that is applying. So as I mentioned before, the position is highly flexible. It's a hybrid role. And I'm going to just keep it honest with you. What I am seeing from the recruitment level is that a lot of these positions, even the tech positions, they are moving away from working at home. So everybody wants a remote position. Everybody wants a position where they don't have to come into the office. Unfortunately, things are moving away from the COVID area of having positions to work at home. So the great thing about this position is that you are able to work from home for the most part. You just have to come on scene for the first 3 days, obviously, to train, and then occasionally for meetings and things of that nature. But this is a hybrid role. This role is a contract role. But after 6 to 9 months, there is the opportunity for conversion. So I oftentimes have a lot of contract workers in the tech space. They like contract positions. They're not looking to go full time. Oftentimes they stack the positions, which means they have multiple contracts going at a time. So they prefer not to be FTE. They prefer not to be full time with the organization that we are sourcing for. And even in my space, a little bit of background about me. When I did work predominantly as a pharmacist, I worked on the pharmacy benefits management and managed health side. So I worked from home and I had multiple contracts going at a time. So I would work for multiple health insurance plans, multiple PBMs. And that's what I preferred to do. There were, of course, opportunities for me to go full time and work directly with the company, but that's just not something that I wanted to do. I like to be at home. Typically, when you're working these type of contract roles, obviously you're being paid for 40 plus hours. But to be honest, you're rarely working 40 plus hours. There would be days where I didn't work any hours, but I would still bill for that day. So this is a great opportunity for someone who has the experience in IT. They have the systems administration experience. The more experience, the better. So if you're super experienced, you know what you're doing, you understand that you're not getting paid for your time. You're getting paid for your knowledge. Therefore, if you can get in there and you can get an 8-hour job done in 1 hour, you're going to get paid for the 8 hours. So that's the great thing about this role. This is a government position. So if you were to be converted to full-time, obviously those great government benefits would kick in. This is also an opportunity to enhance your automation, DevOps, and IT service management position. Now, this position is not necessarily for a person who's only worked on the help desk side. This is for somebody who has actually gotten in and solved some problems. One thing that my client is definitely going to ask you is, what projects have you worked on, and particularly what issues, what problems have you been able to solve for the organization that you currently work for or have worked for before. So this is your opportunity. If you have DevOps experience, DevOps is not the same as system administration. They can run in tandem, but oftentimes the system administrators are there to handle users, for example. So if you work in a department, the systems administration person is going to make sure that anybody that's onboarded into their department, that they have their profile set up, they have their access to the different system setups. Like that would be your position. But there is an opportunity in this role to do some DevOps. DevOps is usually not so much client facing. It's more in the background. It's more of the coding and the software type stuff. And if I have an IT person that's on here that can help me or correct me if I'm wrong. So DevOps is not the same as system administration, but this position as a system administrator does have opportunities for you to build upon your DevOps skills, okay? And again, I'm a pharmacist. I am not a DevOps person. I'm not an IT person. I am an IT recruiter. Therefore, I know a little bit about the positions as far as what some of the capabilities and skills are. But if you are a system administrator with 5+ years of experience and you are a rock star, I want to hear from you. If you want to apply to this position or know more about this position, you can email me and my team at recruiter@caredynamicsfl.com. My website is caredynamicsfl.com. You can go on there and see all of the positions that we are hiring for. We do not just do tech positions. We do a lot of healthcare positions. We do tech positions. I personally like working on the tech positions. I'm already in healthcare. So for me, working on the healthcare positions is boring. Okay, but we do have quite a bit of healthcare positions. So typically if you reach out, initially you're not going to be talking to me. So don't send anything that is specific to me. Because you're going to be talking to my recruiters first. You're going to be going through them first. So don't send anything that is specific to me. For the most part, they're very good about triaging the emails that we get. And if it's something that is personal or specific to me, they will forward it to me. But don't send it. I've seen things get crazy in the inbox. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm not really watching the live chat. I am recording or doing this live from my computer. It took me a minute to set it up. As I get more acclimated to it and comfortable with it, then I will learn to go between screens. And, I'm not a pro at this yet. Also, aside from this being a highly flexible position, this is an opportunity to work on what we call mission critical enterprise level positions or issues. This is not a small team, so this would be very different than working from a startup or a small to medium-sized company. So we are looking for someone who is familiar with working systems administration from the enterprise level. So I'm going to read a little bit of what you'll be doing. You'll be managing and maintaining Windows and Linux servers in a medium to large enterprise environment. You'll also be administering Active Directory and group policy, including security configuration. So that's like what I mentioned before. Somebody gets hired into the firm, somebody gets hired into the company. It's your job as a system administrator to make sure they have all the access that they need. So anytime, say for instance, I go and I work for whatever PBM, we always get access to the different systems that we're going to need access to. And we're going to be able to work inside of these different systems. But there's a system administrator that makes sure that they either approve your access or revoke your access. If you've ever started a job and you get there and you're in training, so they're setting up the computers, and it never fails. There's always something that's not damn working. There's always a system that you're locked out of. There's always some issue with having to sit on the phone with help desk or having to chat with IT. Well, that's a breakdown in systems administration, because the systems administrator is in charge of making sure that everybody has the access that they're supposed to have, that they don't have more access than they're supposed to have. And obviously, if they get fired or put out of the company, it's your job to revoke their access. So that's a systems administrator for you. You will be supporting multi-tiered COTS applications and enterprise IT infrastructure. You will also be overseeing physical and virtual servers, SAN and mid-tier storage arrays, maintaining public cloud services, AWS, Azure, and implementing secure remote access solutions. So this is another thing where your position is going to be hybrid remote. Well, a lot of the people that work for this particular client are also remote. So you need to make sure that they're able to get into the VPN and get into the work environment and actually have the access that they need to do their jobs. You'll also be responsible for following incident reports, problem configuration, change management, performing proactive monitoring and troubleshooting. And this is an environment where it's operating 24/7. So even though you may have a Monday through Friday schedule, it's probably not going to be a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 type situation. It's a when we need you, you need to be available type situation. So you may have times where there's a lot of downtime because everything is working properly, and you may have times where everything goes to shit and you are needed to jump in and solve some problems. So I think it's a great opportunity. You'll get a lot of hands-on experience with working with Linux and servers. So if that is something that you already have like a huge background in, I highly recommend you reach out and apply. Again, if this is applying to someone who you know who is in IT, systems administration, I would love to have a conversation with them. Me and my team would love to get to know you more. And even if this opportunity is not the opportunity for you, I would be glad to talk to you about what it is you are looking for. If you are looking to make a career change, what it is you're looking for and what it is we can offer you. So I am going to go ahead and jump off of here and get back to the work that I just described. Protector of the underworld, how are you? How are you? How are you? Let me see if I can go back. Okay, good. I'm 17 minutes in. The challenge for today was for me to do 25 minutes live today. So I'm going to see if I can stay on here for a little bit longer. And I'll be going live a lot more often once I realize and understand how people do this and just sit on here. I sit and I watch some lives and I will look at the little time and people be on here for hours. And I'm like, do they work? But I guess this is marketing and the job for some people, because my business coach, she literally told me, like, listen, you need to start going live and people need to hear your voice and people need to see your face and interact with people. So I'm here. All right, so let's see. I will start profiling the different positions that I have. We have hundreds of positions open, but again, I want to focus on this senior administration role. Also, this role is in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona specifically. So I do not believe that they are interested in anyone outside of Phoenix, even though the role is hybrid, because there will be times where you have to actually come on site. It's not a situation where you're living in Florida, but you're working a position in Phoenix. They want you to actually be sitting or working in Phoenix, Arizona, preferably as close to the client site as possible. So even though this is a hybrid remote position, this is not a position that is open to out-of-state individuals. However, if you are interested in moving and relocating to Phoenix, Arizona area, there's an opportunity, if you're a great, candidate, that we can work something out. It is unlikely that they would be willing to provide any type of relocation bonuses or any type of relocation assistance. So this would have to be something where you're already thinking about moving to Phoenix to begin with. One thing that I did not touch upon is the pay. So I have fought with this. This position is up to $49 an hour. So it is in a contract hourly position. They are willing to entertain those who are asking for higher amounts, but I'm going to tell you right now, They are going to give preference to those who come into the situation and say, hey, I'm willing to do this job for $48 an hour, $47 an hour, 49 at max. So I can come in, and if you're saying you want $52 an hour, I can submit you to my client for $52 an hour. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they have someone who is just as good as you or better, maybe a little bit worse, but that person is willing to take $49, $47 an hour, they're probably going to go with that person. I'm going to keep it real with you. That's just how it goes. We're able to negotiate only up until a certain point. Keep in mind that this is a government position, GovTech position. So they're really limited as far as what their cost centers are and how much they're able to pay you. So with that being said, anybody with systems administration experience who is looking for a change or just looking to talk about the role. I love passive candidates, which are the candidates who already have a job. They're happy with their job, but they're interested in learning more. Those are my favorite, because if you're already working for the competitor or working for a similar institution, you have everything that we are looking for, and it's our job to kind of sell you over to this side. So if you're already working and you just want to hear about the experience, let me know. Again, I am Sean Thompson. I am the owner, operator, the sun and the moon of Care Dynamics FL. That's www.caredynamics, F is in Frank, L is in Larry.com. We are a staffing, augmentation, recruitment firm. We do everything from staffing augmentations of large teams, enterprise teams, to direct placement recruitment, as well as temporary staffing and other consulting projects. So if you are hiring your company, whether you're in the HR function, or you are a CEO or hiring manager who is looking to hire, I would be more than happy to assess your needs and find out whether or not my team can assist you with your staffing needs. So you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. I may try to jump back on here later and talk more about this role, talk about some things related to the independent courier space, which is something that people love to hear me speak on. Of course, I will oblige in anything else that you guys would like to talk about. So have a phenomenal Thursday. And that's it. Let me see if I don't think I have any questions. Everybody's just jumping in, trying to see what I'm in here talking about. Thank you to those who sent messages and told me good morning. You guys are not rude, so thank you for saying good morning to me. I'm on the East Coast, so it is 11:15 here, so it's still morning where I am. Had quite a few people come in. It'll say messages are popping up, but it doesn't say who sent. It'll just say one message. Oh, and another thing, if I didn't mention it, again, this is a contract position. So that means typically there are no to limited benefits. Like this would be something where you work in the self-employed capacity or the contractor capacity. Now, keep in mind, if you are seeking to go full time, there is an opportunity for that after 6 to 9 months. To be honest, if you're really, really good, I've seen my client convert people, after 3 months. Oftentimes with these companies, it's always a good idea. I know a lot of people are really concerned about how staffing agencies and recruitment agencies work and temporary positions. But in my personal experience, I've had great experiences working for staffing companies. It's highly flexible. And if you are good and you want to go full time, there are opportunities to do so. But there are a lot of advantages for just being contractor. One of them being the fact that you can actually go and stack multiple contract roles. So let's just say this role is $50 an hour. That's one role. work enough hours, that'll be a six-figure role. However, it will be great to also be able to get another $50 an hour role similar to this one, or even in a different space that allows you to stack multiple roles together. So now instead of $50 an hour, you got two contracts, so you're making $100 an hour in theory. Um, that comes with a lot of tax advantages. Like it's just always been the way that I have worked when I wasn't running my own business. And to be honest, I started out running this business doing contract work. Like I would contract myself out as a pharmacist. I still contract myself out. When I don't have pharmacists locally where I live to go and staff, I physically go in and work myself. So there's a lot of opportunities. Don't be afraid of the contract positions. I know a lot of people say, well, what about the benefits? If you're in relatively good health, you'll be fine. You can also get a lot of the different healthcare exchange plans that allow you to privatize your own benefits without necessarily going through a company. So don't be afraid of working on a contract basis. It's something that I prefer, and it's something that if you don't prefer it, it can be converted later on. So thank you guys for joining. I'll be back at some point. I don't know when. I don't have a particular schedule for this. I don't know if I'm going to be back today, tomorrow, or next week. But I'm going to try to commit to do more live and give you a lot of more information. So again, systems administrators, that's who I want to talk to. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys. Have a great rest of your day.